Well, hello. This is our review of Chapter 2, and it's all about the high-level overview tests. And Benford's Law, the two chapters that follow, would also be classed as the high-level overview tests. And after that, we start drilling down. Now, in the introduction, 2 points are important. The one at the bottom here, we can seldom be certain by statistical analysis alone that a fraud is being perpetrated. We really do need to dig deeper and look harder than just do a bit of statistical analysis. And the other one is suspicion scores, and we definitely deal with that in the chapters towards the end of the book. Now, this is our first one. This is the data profile. This is a nice high-level overview. And the big thrust over here is to see whether my data is complete, whether everything is there. And why it's the first test, it's because if I'm dealing with incomplete data, there's really no point in going on. Now, this is covered in pages 51 to 56 of the book. And the nice thing is, if you use the Negrini cycle, that Excel template, the data profile is calculated automatically. The theme, the data set that gets used through all the chapters in the book, well, almost all, is this one, purchase card transactions for the District of Columbia. I'm just showing you where I got it from, and I like the data set. It fits in well with many of the chapters. This is the data profile for the District of Columbia data set, and what you can see at the top, I really care about the large positive, small positive, zero, small negative, and large negative. You can define large positive to be whatever you think is relevant. And over here we have two other categories, the last one being, what are my big numbers? I have the counts and I have the total dollars. And I would want to reconcile my total dollars to something that tells me that my data set is complete. This is a nice story that is given as an example, and this is where somebody at the Air Combat Command headquarters purchased 120 helmets totaling just under 100,000, and what you can do is read about it in the book. Let's just move out here and have a quick look at Excel. Here's my purchasing card data. And if I use the Negrini cycle, I really just have to do copy, go in here, paste, and then to do the digit tests, I need to copy this all the way down. And that is really a lot of work it did quite quickly, and there's my data profile. All done. That's how nice it was to use that piece of software. Let's go back. The histogram. Histograms are a staple of any type of statistical analysis. They look like this, and that's why Excel can do it, IDEA can do it, Tableau can do it. Everyone can really do it. And what I do is I break my data into ranges, in this case 1 penny to $200, and I count how many transactions I have in this range, and then this is just over 200 to exactly 400. I count how many I have in this range, and this gives me an idea of the distribution of the data. I like to do my last interval being 2800 or whatever the case may be, plus everything that is bigger than that. Tableau and histograms go together like marmalade and toast. The periodic graph. I made up this word, but what I really want to do is I want to look at my data, and I want to look at it on a month-by-month basis and see what the totals are per month. So in this case, I do show you this in the book, and this, I mean, it's not going to tell you the story. You have to look at it, and then you have to come up and say, okay, it looks like an average of that per month. I have systematic spikes in September. I have 2 large spikes there and there, and we want to know what that's all about. Large spikes meaning very high expenses in those months. And I have below average purchases for October, a very small amount here, which could mean that my data is perhaps incomplete. So let's just go and have a quick look at Tableau. Here's Tableau. I'm going to go open and I'm going to pull in this PCAR data. You know, it's nearly 200,000 records, so we've got to cut the program a little bit of slack in doing some reading there, but it's got it. There we go. And now, if I wanted to do that histogram, I would do amount to the rows. And now we actually have to move across to show me and down here to histogram. And look what it automatically put the bin up there. But now, what it's done, it sort of really is a bit unsure over here. I need to give it some guidance. And so what I want to do is I want to change the amount of the bin to $200. So I'm going to go here, amount bin edit, and let's see the size of the bins. I'm going to go back and make the size of the bins 200. This will still make Tableau a little confused, but at least we'll do okay. Now, it's all squished over there. We don't want that. I'm going to go here and I'm going to do edit axis, and we are going to make it start at 0, and let's just make it end at 2800, in which case we'll have something that will resemble what we see in the book. I can actually close this. If you do reset, you go back to amazingly reset. So this is looks like the top of page 73. However, we need to tidy it up a little bit more with changing the width of the bars and titles and the like. So that is the histogram. I'm going to go back here and let's try and do, we'll go amount and we'll do date. And now it's giving me the total per year, but how about we do the total per month? I don't want to. This is the this is every January, every February, all of them added together. We'll go months over here, and now I have it. This is identical to what I have in the book, except in the book I prefer to use bars. So I could actually go here, automatic, change it to a bar. And we can see we have the two spikes, and I just have to do some tidying up, and Tableau will give me an excellent periodic graph. The last one is Descriptive Statistics, and basically what Descriptive Statistics do is they sort of summarize my data. They give me a summary measures. I've chosen these ones, which I think will work well for us. Things are defined. The mean is the average. The median is half of the numbers are bigger, half of the numbers are lower. And the mode is the most frequently occurring number. You can read up about quartile 1, quartile 3, and the like. The standard deviation talks about the spread and the skewness. It has come up in some of our assignments. The skewness, this is highly positively skewed, and that refers to that pattern that I have over there. The descriptive statistics are useful. They become even more useful when I have prior year data and I want to compare this year to the previous year, and I want to see whether I have large differences. And that's coming up in one of the two prior period comparison chapters later in the book. So, the histogram. Tableau has histograms for breakfast. It's excellent. Here I'm just showing you with screenshots what I did before and doing that, and you can see that you need to add on the headings, but things will look pretty good pretty soon. Let's have a look at a summary. These are my high-level overview tests. I talk about each one over here, and in the end I talk a little bit about external auditors being able to use this as part of their assurance. And that is indeed our review for Chapter 2. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.